Hi, my name is Nate Dennis. I'm the Director of Sales for Projects and Energy here at Remfoss and Light Efficient Design. Thanks for tuning in to this short video that we explain about our flat panels. I know that many of you have seen flat panels and have seen competitors' flat panels, but I promise you, you have not seen a flat panel like ours. A lot of times you might call this a specification grade panel because it's high quality and it has many features and benefits above and beyond other flat panels that you'll see in the market. Let's start here with life ratings. Those are really important. When you look at our spec sheet, you'll see our life rating is L 100,000 hours. When you look at some competitors' spec sheets, even the best one that I've found online is L 60,000 hours, and most of them are L 50,000 hours. And what that means is if you're not familiar with that life rating term, typically a certain number will fail just before that life rating and just after that life rating. So when you think about using these in a commercial environment for many hours during a day, 50,000 hours isn't very long. And you'll find that your customers might be frustrated if their panels are failing prematurely or failing earlier than that 50,000 hour rating. So we use 100,000 hours, and we also use a 10-year warranty. That 10-year warranty is backed by the life rating of the LEDs itself. Many of our competitors have a 50,000 hour life and a 5-year warranty. So we double that up, and that we think is important to you when we add value into the market. The other thing that we want to mention is the quality of the materials that go into our lenses. We use something called PMMA material, and that resin is guaranteed not to fade, or it won't discolor when you have LEDs burning hot inside these panels. So our competitors, a lot of them use something called polystyrene. You may have heard the term before. Polystyrene has been pretty well proven now to yellow over time. What that means is if you start with a 5,000 color temperature and your materials will yellow over time, that means you have a color shift. That means your customer won't get what they're expecting for light down the road, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years from now. So quality is driven in these types of materials. So we've discussed a little bit about the life rating, 100,000 hours. We've discussed the warranty as 10 years. We should also talk about our color temperatures and how we handle that. On the back, and we'll show you here, on the back of each panel, there's a color temperature selector switch and also a wattage selector switch. We call that flex color and flex watts. So as I was mentioning, this is our panel with flex color. Now flex color means we have 3 color temperatures built into our LED chipset. So as you can see right now, we're burning the chips at 3,500 Kelvin. On the back, there's a switch, and now I've changed it to 4,000 Kelvin, and then finally to 5,000 Kelvin, where you can get a very nice white light out of the panel. Now, how many times have we been on jobs where maybe a customer has said, boy, I really want white light, and when you get it to the job site, they're like, I don't think I want white light. And if that's the case, you can easily have them make the adjustments in the ceiling prior to installations to make sure they get the color temperature they desire. And of course, it works the other way too, right? Oh, this is way too warm for us. What can you do? Well, I can just simply change the color temperature for you. So the other really cool thing about our panels is we've talked about the flex watt before in some of our other videos. This panel allows you to do 4 different wattages. So here, I'm going to click through a few of them and then I'll explain what I'm doing here. So on the back, there's an adjustment. As you can see, I've just made it brighter, and you can step it down to the different various wattage outputs that you need for your project. This is really important because if you're trying to meet a certain ROI or return on investment on your project, you may be able to adjust the wattage or lumen output to a lower level to accommodate your return on investment. The other thing that's really neat is if you're working with property managers that rent or lease to multiple tenants, For example, if your first tenant is a computer guy, he might want very low light level, and when he would probably also want warm color temperatures. If he moves out of the space and a retailer moves into the space, they typically want whiter light and lots of light. So this panel can accommodate requests down the road. You'll just need to access it through the ceiling. So we've learned about flex watt, flex color, long life. We've learned about 10-year warranties. We've learned about our lensing is PMMA, which reduces fading and won't color shift over time like some of the lower cost panels on the market does. But that's not it. We do a lot of really handy things for electricians and for people with control systems and for people that need battery backup. And that's all discussed on the back side of this panel. So let's flip over the panel and explore that. And I'll even bring in a competitor's panel and show you why the back side of this panel makes all the difference. So I've turned around our flat panel, and so you can see the back of it. We call this a back box. A back box is where the wiring lives. So I'm going to show you ours in just a minute, but first I want to show you one of the competitors, and I think that you're going to find that this is on most competitors' flat panel products. Right here is their back box and their wiring box. As you can see, you have to run wires in here and wires out, and I'm hopeful we'll be able to see this, but on the wiring box, they're not very well made. When we broke off the tab to insert wires, it actually physically broke the box because it was just plain not well assembled. The other challenge that an electrician has, which makes our panel a little more friendly, is they have to bring wires in and bring wires out, and then somehow they have to pack all the 0 to 10 volt dimming has to go into this little itty bitty space right here. Then, once they've inserted all the wires, they have a small little cover that they have to mount onto here and set it with a little thumb screw to be able to finish the job. Well, if you're like me, those little itty bitty screws don't work so well in my hands, and then I'm up above the ceiling trying to figure out how to get this wired together, and it's not a very good proposition for an electrician to do things in an expeditious manner. On ours, we have a very large back box. As you can see, there's plenty of room for wiring and for mounting additional equipment inside of here. We have plenty of knockouts all around the box that you may not be able to see on the camera, but there's plenty of ways to put wiring into here, utilizing 0 to 10 volt control and dimmability. This right here is where your color adjustments are that I just talked about for flex color. There's right here on the panel, there's an adjustment for doing the flex wattage. Also, within our flat panels, you can add an occupancy sensor into them. Now, you probably have seen this occupancy sensor on some of our other videos. It mounts right inside the panel here and actually shoots microwave through the lens of the panel, so there's no external warts, wall warts I call them, or ceiling warts or any other sort of sensors external to the fixtures at all. And we think that we're the only ones in the market that have a unique technology for flat panels that allows you to add sensoring in. To really make this a little bit better, we also have a handheld remote control. So our sensors out of the box turn on the light fixture at 100% when it sees motion, and then it drops it down to 30% after 5 minutes of dwell time. If that doesn't quite work for you and your customer, you can purchase an additional remote control that allows you to program those sensor settings differently so you can get the result that your client wants. Anytime you dim, that adds up to energy savings and better return on investment on your or your customer's projects. But that doesn't stop there. So we have sensor that can go inside this box. We have our handheld remote control for doing adjustments. You can also add in a control system. Now this control system, and again, if you check one of David's videos, he also has done a segment on controls and controls within our fixtures. Well, this is an LG control. This fits conveniently within inside of our back box of our fixtures. So if you're doing control-ready projects, this is a fabulous product for you to use. Now, if you have the competitor's product, you'll see that there's no way to put a control into their product at all. So the only way to do that is to stub out and then add an additional box and cost and expense and labor to add a control in. So if you have any sort of controls with jobs with flat panels and you need controls, this is a fabulous option for you, both in terms of flexibility and time savings. But wait, it doesn't stop there. We can do even more things. Within our factory right here in Middleton, Massachusetts, we can add in battery backup. So the battery backup, as you can see, easily fits within the back box and can be accommodated both with controls and as well as battery and color adjustability and wattage adjustability, all contained within here. Our competitor's product, oops, doesn't fit. So guess what? If you have a job with battery backup, your electrician has to then stub out of this little itty-bitty box, add more wiring in here, add another box to the fixture to be able to mount his battery backup. So all of those things fit really nicely with these panels. So when you have LED flat panel technology, not very many of you, I know a lot of you sell flat panels, but you don't necessarily have the background on knowing how they work. And so let me explain briefly how they work. Now originally a flat panel was called edge-lit panels. That's because the LEDs shined in from each edge across the panel and reflected light down. And across the panel you'll see sometimes if you look at competitors up in the ceiling, you'll see like a black ghosting or shadowing, or maybe a corner of the panel is burnt out. They're not really burnt out. What's happening is the LEDs, if they become warped within like a weak suspended ceiling, the LEDs become out of alignment. What that means is they start shining incorrectly on the grid that reflects the light down. That exposes the grid, and then you see lots of black shadows. So what we've done is we've added somewhere around 1.5 times sheet metal in the back over any of our competitors. By having the extra sheet metal, it helps ensures that your LEDs stay in alignment, even inside of bad ceilings or sometimes in suspended applications. It keeps everything in alignment so you have a good crisp look of the panel for many years to come. So I'm going to summarize one more time everything that our flat panels can do for you. So first, we have a 100,000 hour rated life. Our competitors typically have a 50,000 hour rated life. We have a 10-year warranty. Most competitors have a 5-year warranty. Some have a 7. And once in a while, you'll see a 10-year warranty, but look at the cut sheet because they only have a 50,000 or maybe a 60,000 hour rated life, and that's not really enough time to support a 10-year warranty. The next thing we're able to do is we use that high upgraded lens material, which is what we call PMMA. The competitors use polystyrene, which we all know will discolor over time. The other last advantage here, again, is this large back box where we feature our flex watt, our flex color, flexible control options, and his ability also to add in other third-party control systems that we can help you with here at Remfoss and Light Efficient Design. Thanks for joining me, and I appreciate your time.